Marvellous. Send the goal. Taken quickly. Palmer driving it. It's in. It's in for 4-3. It's absolutely
Hiyo ndio inaitwa kufinya. Yaani tulipunguza kiburi, tukawafinya na sasa ni respect. Streets are safe courtesy of Chelsea. And of course that is one of the craziest, games in the English Premier League. From 98th minute all the way you are leading, then in just a flash of seconds you go home crying. That is the beauty of football, and that is what makes, football to be loved and one of the most cherished games in the history of all sports. Anyway, welcome to On the Sports Show. This the 6th day of, April, the year 2024, indeed, the day that we have much and more lined up for you in regard to sports activities in the country. Remember, we are tracking the ongoing World Relay Trials that is currently underway at Nyayo Stadium. We have big names, the likes of Ferdinand Omanyala, the return of Marco Tieno, Mary Mora. These are players, or rather athletes, with, quite experience in this field, and they will be hunting ticket to represent Kenya in the upcoming World Relay Championship in Bahamas. So that is something that we are following up, and we'll be giving you an update of what is happening there at Nyayo Stadium. And of course we'll be telling you who has made it to Team Kenya and what are some of the expectations this time round. Remember last time Kenya only won two medals, a silver and a bronze. So what is the expectation this time round, and what should we look out for now that we have a very strong and formidable squad, and we have the like of very, very, very clear athletes in the country. And of course we'll be wanting to see the dominance between the two athletes, that is Marco Tieno and of course Ferdinand Omanyala. And remember, Omanyala will still come up against his younger brother. All right, so that is as far as athletics is concerned. So there is some very disturbing and rather some sad state of event in regard to football affairs. Remember, the Football Kenya Federation annual general meeting was supposed to happen back then. So the court halted the AGM meeting, but on Thursday, the court then reaffirmed its decision to actually halt this. So putting the entire football, activities and even in regard to upcoming election in disarray. So nobody really knows what is happening, and there is talks of maybe a possible ban if this trend continues. Remember, in 2020 we were banned because of government meddling into football affairs in the country, and there is talk that this might be considered as one of those scenarios. And of course we'll keep on tracking this particular conversation and want to know, so what is the fate of Kenya, what is the way forward. And of course, as a football enthusiast, stakeholder, and a very keen fan, so what do you think about this particular decision, the suspension of the FGM, that is the FKF rather, annual general meeting? So what is your take on this? You can keep talking to us on all of our social media platforms. Remember, we are coming to you live. You're live on YouTube, and of course you can talk to us on Facebook. You can tweet me on X at Auma Events. Remember to use the hashtag on the spot, and of course that is in line with football. And of course we'll be switching gears, or rather crossing over to the English Premier League, and give you an update of what happened in the midweek and what to expect in regard to these particular fixtures. A couple of fixtures are lined up for today, the Saturday, and of course there is a big match, the Battle of the Reds. I'm talking about Manchester United will be facing Liverpool at Old Trafford. Will this be their moment of comeback, or rather will they bounce back from defeat, or is just another trend that we should expect? And of course big match if you ask me, but does it really mean that this will be one of the big performance for Manchester United? Remember, their hopes of making it to Champions League next season will actually dwindle, and we hope that maybe they'll rise again and they'll sing glory at Old Trafford. But that is a big if, and it's just a matter of time. So time will tell if there will be victorious between the battle of the two Reds, the Red Devils and the real Reds. So I don't know how to put it, but it's quite a big match, and we'll wait to see what will be happening tomorrow. Remember, the venue is Old Trafford, and the team is between Manchester United and Liverpool. Not, these are very familiar fixtures. A couple of times, remember, they met in the first leg, they met in the FA. We saw some late drama, and of course, we were entertained to some really thrilling football action. Is that what you're expecting? Or maybe it will be a turnaround turn of event, and we expect the normal and the usual thing to happen as far as Manchester United is concerned. So that is something that we are really tracking. And of course, a very brief highlight of what to expect today. I'm talking about the final of the Kenya Cup. Remember, Cabra's Sugar will be up against KCB. This is the 7th time these teams are meeting in the finals of the Kenya Cup. One team has a superior history in regards to this, finals. KCB have won it 5 times out of, the 7 times, or rather the 6 times that they have met. Last season they met, and of course Cabras won. So will they continue with their dominance against, KCB in the recent outings? But in terms of statistically, when you go head-to-head comparison at a game of high stake like this, KCB has always been the team to beat. But what is the script this time around? Big question, and we'll wait to see what will happen. I know many fans are waiting to see how the event will unfold. Both coaches have made their submission, and it's just a matter of time before we actually separate men from boys. That, quote unquote, word of some of key stakeholders as far as rugby is concerned. It's really a very, very thrilling encounter between these two teams. So we'll wait to see who will carry the day. Remember, that match will be played at exactly 3 p.m. East African time. It's just a matter of time before the kickoff, and we expect some mouth-watering encounter between two of the most dominant teams in the last 9 seasons or so. The title has been most time been shared between KCB and of course now Cabra Sugar. So this time round, who will claim the bragging rights? The big question there. We'll wait and see. And of course, I'll still bring you back to the Kenya Premier League action. Remember, today we have a couple of fixtures. The defending champions Gor will be up against stubborn Kakamega Homeboys. Will they extend their dominance and of course their stay at the summit of the Kenya Premier League, the Football Kenya Federation Premier League, I should say. And those are just among the fixtures that will be taking a look and see how the event will unfold. Remember, the match between Tusker and of course has already kicked off at exactly 1 p.m. and of course that is something that will be following up and will bring you up to speed with what is happening, who has scored and who is leading. So it's just a matter of time before we put you into perspective in regard to Kenya football matches that are lined up for today and tomorrow, Sunday. But first thing, let's get the highlight of what is actually forming the basis of our today's On The Spot show. All right, so let's begin with the latest as far as this On The Spot show is concerned. So I want to take you through some of the very interesting activities that is happening currently at Nyayo Stadium, the World Athletics, or rather World Relay Trials that is currently underway at Nyayo Stadium. And we have notable names, the likes of Ferdinand Omanyala, The 800 meters world champion Mary Moraa and Mark Otieno will be making a comeback to search for ticket to represent Kenya in the upcoming World Athletics Relay that will be held in Bahamas beginning April 20th. All right, so that is what is happening currently at Nyayo Stadium. Remember, it's a selection for Team Kenya ahead of the World Relay Athletics that will be held in Bahamas. Remember, we have a very strong contingent of Kenyan athletes. I'm talking about the likes of Africa defending champions, or rather the fastest man in Africa as far as 100 meters is concerned. Ferdinand Omanyala will be up against his old rival, that is Mark Otieno, who will be making a comeback after serving a long ban due to doping allegations. Then we have the likes of Hezron, and of course in that same line we have the likes of 100 meters women champion Mary Moraa will still be competing for that particular ticket to represent the country in the upcoming World Athletics Relay that will be held in Bahamas. Remember, Kenya will be hoping to improve on their performance, unlike their previous edition where they just only won 2 medals, a silver and a bronze, and some very interesting statistics to actually follow on. Remember, this particular trials, or rather when they go to the World Athletics Relay, whoever will, their performance will determine whether they clinch the ticket to actually represent the country in the upcoming Paris Olympics this year. So that is the latest development that is happening at Nyayo Stadium. And remember, we are still tracking these trials, and we'll bring you up to speed with what is happening, who has made it to Team Kenya, and what should you expect as far as the 83 man list is concerned. So let us move on to another very interesting statistics and some very important discussion in regard to the football affairs in the country. Now, the High Court on Thursday confirmed its decision to suspend Football Kenya Federation annual general meeting. The court had temporarily suspended the FKF annual general meeting after sports journalist Milton Nyakundi moved to the court to challenge the legality of the FKF National Executive Committee members' capacity to convene the AGM. FKF argued that the High Court had no legal jurisdiction to hear the case filed by Nyakundi, but in his ruling, Justice Olga Sewe said that the case is merited and allowed. So, remember, this particular topic is very hot and concerns many Kenyans, especially for those who follow football keenly. So the question is, what is the state of FKF right now? Remember, this particular AGM meeting was supposed to happen on on March 16th, that is last month. And of course, this will have set set the stage for the FKF election to pave way for new leadership and of course the beginning of new things as far as football activities in the country is concerned. So in light of this latest development, there is some concern about whether are we really, going back to the previous activities that befolded our football activities, where that led to eventual ban of football activities in the country by the World Football Governing Body, FIFA. So it's a question that evoke a lot of reaction, and it's something that many people are keen to know what will happen. So remember, FKF were allowed to actually take their case to the Court of Appeal to actually see if they can overturn the High Court decision to suspend the AGM that was set to happen last month. So it's something that we are following keenly, and we are even asking you to just chip in and wade in for your views. Just tell us what you think about this latest development as far as Football Kenya Federation top leadership and of course the annual general meeting is concerned. So where are you reading into this? Is it a right thing, or you hold a different view in regard to this particular suspension? Now let's switch gears. Now the Kenya has won the bid to host the 2024 edition of Billie Jean King's Cup, that is Africa Group 3, which is set to kick off on June this year. Kenya outbid Burundi to earn the hosting rights for the second time in a row after hosting the last edition in 2023. Billie Jean Cup is one of the most prestigious international tennis tournament, and the Africa Group 3 event will feature some of the best women's tennis team in Africa. Kenya is also eyeing to host Davis Cup and will be competing against Rwanda for the hosting rights. Good news for Team Kenya, and we really hope this hosting right will actually, usher in some new development and even encourage, the government to put in more infrastructure and even encourage more athletes to venture into tennis. Who knows what the future looks like. Now let's switch gears to some football action. Now the Safaricom Chapa Dimba edition, that is the 16 teams comprising 8 boys and 8 girls team, will battle it out for glory in the 4th edition of Safaricom Chapa Dimba National Finals, set to kick off on April 11th to 14th at the Kenyatta Stadium and Moi Stadium in Kisumu County. The games will start from the quarterfinals stage. After quarterfinals, all action will move to Kenyatta Stadium for the semifinals, which is set for Friday and Saturday, with the final schedule on Sunday. All right, so remember in events like Chapadimba, sasa hapa ndo talent huwa talent inachipuka, and many people wanna realize their dreams and inspiration to actually don the national team colors, and maybe some football stakeholders, very serious people, get to involve and spot a few talents and actually elevate the football activities in the country. Such initiatives is where the home-based players get an opportunity to shine, not only in the region, rather in the global stage. So this is a gateway for many players to come up and showcase what they have, and we can't wait to see what the 4th edition of the Chapa Dimba Finals will hold for many players and what is in store for the fans. So let's switch gears to now the highlights of what is proving to be one of the most anticipated a game that many people are waiting to see how things will unfold. Now, the Kenya Cup defending champions Kabras Sugar will face off KCB in an explosive Kenya Cup final at Kakamega Showground at exactly 3 p.m. on Saturday, that is today. The Bankers will be hoping to extend their dominance against the Kakamega-based side as the two sides meet for the 7th final, with KCB registering 5 wins, with Kabras only winning once, that is last year. Kabras are playing in the finals for the 9th consecutive year since gaining promotion to the top flight in 2014-2015 season. So this fixture, or rather final, has some very interesting statistics. Remember, they are meeting 7th time this in this final. One team has won 5, the other one has won 1, and of course this will be their 7th meeting in the final. So who will have the bragging rights at the end of the day? Kabra Sugar has won it, rather has appeared in the finals for the 9th consecutive season from 2014 all the way to 2024. Now, this is a team that shows its real intention to actually compete for this, and this will be their 4th title should they clinch this one. So it can tell you the intensity and the magnitude of this game, and of course the atmosphere, and it tells that all is at stake for either team. One want to maintain their status against the other. The other one wants to make history, and of course continue to pose some very interesting trajectory as far as the Kenya Cup is concerned. So it's something that we are following up, and of course this is a final of its kind, and many people are waiting to see how this particular final will turn out. Remember, these teams have met at least 11 times. KCB have won 7, the other one clinching 5. So it's much of a comparison between the two dominant teams in the Kenyan rugby history, and of course this particular final set it out. And remember, this sets the basis of, or rather sets our question of the day. We are asking between KCB and of course Kabra Sugar, which team do you think will clinch the 2023-24 Kenya Cup title? Which team do you think has what it takes to actually clinch this particular title? Is it KCB or Kabra Sugar? So keep talking to us on all of our social media platforms. Remember, you're live on YouTube at KUTV Kenya, and you can also follow us on Facebook at KUTV Kenya. You can tweet me on X at Auma Events. Remember to use the hashtag on the spot. Now, so switching gears to football action now, Ulinzi Stars will take on stubborn Bandari Stars. Bandari in the Football Kenya Federation Premier League at Ulinzi Complex. Struggling Shabana will fight for their dear life when they entertain Posta Rangers at Raila Odinga Stadium. League leaders Gor will be hoping to cement their status at the summit of the Football Kenya Federation when they play host to Kakamega Homeboys, among other fixtures lined up for today. All right, so let me take you pretty quick to the remainder of this particular fixture. Remember, the Kariobangi Sharks vs Tusker United, and that match began at exactly 1 p.m. Then we have Ulinzi vs Bandari. The kickoff will be at exactly 3 p.m. East African time. Then we have Shabana will be playing host to Posta Rangers at Raila Odinga Stadium in Homa Bay. Then we have Muhoroni Youth vs Nairobi City Stars. Then Gor will entertain Kakamega Homeboys. On Sunday, Bidco United takes on KCB, and of course FC Leopard will be up against Sofapaka. Then Moranga Sales will welcome Zoya Sugar at SportsPesa Arena. Then Talanta will be up against Police FC. So those are the fixtures in the Kenya Premier League this particular weekend. Now let us switch gears to English Premier League action. Now, defending champions, that is Manchester City, will travel to Selhurst Park to square it out with Crystal Palace in an early kickoff that will kick off at exactly 3:30 p.m. East African time. In another match lined up for today, Brighton Albion will play host to Arsenal at Falmer Stadium, while Aston Villa will be hoping to bounce back after 4-1 defeat at the hands of Manchester City in the midweek fixtures. On Sunday, Liverpool will take on Manchester United in the Battle of the Reds at Old Trafford, while Chelsea will travel to Bramall Lane to battle it out with Sheffield United. Okay, so that is some of the big fixtures, but remember we still have like a couple of matches lined up for today. Remember, Aston Villa will be up against Brentford. Then we have Everton will play host to Burnley that drew with Chelsea in the last weekend. Then we have Luton against Bournemouth. Then Wolves will entertain West Ham United. Then Brighton will be up against Arsenal. On Sunday, we have big match Liverpool against Manchester United at Old Trafford. Then Chelsea will welcome Sheffield United at Stamford Bridge. Then Nottingham Forest will play host to Tottenham Hotspurs. Okay, so those are some of the fixtures, and of course we want us to take a very short break here on the spot. But remember, our question of the day, we are asking you which team, that is Cabras Sugar, and of course that is what your prediction on Kenya Cup finals between Cabras Sugar and of course KCB. So what is your prediction of Kenya Cup finals? Talk to us on all of our social media platform. You can talk to us on Facebook. We are live on YouTube at KUTV Kenya, and of course you can tweet me at Auma Evans. Remember, we welcome your feedback and contribution to this particular regard. Talk to us. What your team? Which team do you support? Is it KCB or Cabras Sugar? And what is your prediction? Who do you think will carry the day? Remember, it's just a couple of minutes before the kickoff, and of course, remember we still be crossing over to Kakamega to bring you up to speed with what is happening. But in the meantime, you can talk to us, send in your views and comment in regard to this big match in the Kenya Cup. That is the finals between Cabras Sugar and KCB. So we want us to take a very short break, and when we come back, remember we'll be taking through some of the highlights of what to expect in the sporting activities. Remember, it will be a 360 clockwise discussion, matters football, rugby, athletics, and everything in between. But first thing first, let's take this short break. When we come back, remember, it's plenty.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepo pasi vuguvugu. Pepo pa ni idea.
Sazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa
wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vilevile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, hiyo inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni Duniani Leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
You need to look for high quality friends.
I'm from Kingston, Jamaica, you know Portmore. That's my village.
Sanga tu chini hapo ukinyevia ukikatia mademo akipita.
Sina pesa saa hii, nimekuja kukopesa choo.
Natoka ile mtenye Maslay Queen utembea na visi ndio nikawa tamaa vijana.
Akajiona mdeadly kushinda waganga wote wa Kitui. Hakujua hii kitu hii ni tricky.
Alafu imekuwa chai. Ite kitu kidogo just to get in between my thighs at I love you.
Technology, science, innovation, ICT and research. These are the ingredients upon which the solutions to the 21st century problems are founded. In a world that is rapidly changing, it's all hands on deck to ensure a balance in all fields of life. Women, young and old, are also in the front line, breaking the glass ceiling, becoming thought leaders in the larger tech space. Not forgetting other societies marginalized. And when the tech Avengers come together, we inch closer to a much safer, efficient, and sustainable world. What we view as a norm in today's advanced world was just an idea, and for nostalgic reasons, we trace back to the iconic days to bring you the retro tech. On Tech Innovation Show, we encapsulate all the pillars of the fourth industrial revolution, decoded in a language, all for one for all. Every Monday at 8:30 as we push the mantra, keep learning something new each and every day. Only on KUTV, a new experience.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
They are powerful and influential. They make decisions in politics, education, finance, agriculture, health, sports, and all aspects of human life. But the impact of their decisions falls on you, the common citizen. KUTV Primetime News Thursday. We ask bold questions and pursue answers to the core to bring you closer to the story. We couldn't have it any other way. Join me, Auma, as I raise matters of social concern to raise your voice from the background to the foreground. Every Thursday and Saturday at 9 p.m. only on KUTV.
Right, welcome back, and of course this is the second segment of On the Sport Show, and this is where we take you through the daily analysis of what is happening across the country and the globe, where we keep you up to date with what is happening in various sports disciplines. And remember, today we have a very big match between two teams, that is Kabra Sugar and KCB, in the finals of the Kenya Cup. And remember, that match will kick off at exactly 3 p.m. East Africa local time. And of course, remember, this particular one, in our question of the day, we are asking you what is your prediction between Kenya, what is your prediction in the Kenya Cup between Kabra Sugar and of course KCB. So what's your prediction of Kenya Cup final between KCB and of course Kabra Sugar? And remember, I want to give you some very interesting statistics. Remember, head-to-head statistics with these two teams. This will be their seventh, final meeting between these two teams. Remember, between these seven, of course, rather, let's talk about 6. KCB have won 5, and of course, Cabra's only 1. So today will be their 7th Kenya Cup final between Kabra Sugar and of course KCB. So the big question is, who will win this one out? That's why we are asking you, what's your prediction in the finals of the Kenya Cup final between Kabra Sugar and KCB? Talk to us on all of our social media platform. Let us know what you think, and what's your comment in regard to this? Who will extend the dominance? Out of 11 outings between these two teams, KCB has won 7, while Cabras has won 5. And in the recent encounter between these two sides, remember they met previously in the Kenya Cup, that is in the final match before now the playoffs. Kabra Sugar, of course, got the better part of KCB. Will they continue with this dominance? That is the big question. And of course, that is something that we are really tracking. And of course, we'll be bringing you an updated analysis in regard to that particular fixture, what you need to know, what to expect, and of course, who will lift the title. So it's a big one. And of course, remember, in line to this, the big event and who lifts the title and everything in between, last weekend, it was the final finale of the Vasha Experience, the WRC 2024 edition. And there was some quite intrigue, statistics, and of course, very, 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 eye-catching and beauty of motorsports. Pale Vasha ilikuwa tu ni vumbi. And of course, one name in particular dominated the last edition, that is in 2023, and this time the 2024 edition, the Finn, that is Kalle Rovanperä. He was crowned the champion of the 2024 Safari Rally edition, and he won this. But before even we go deeper into the Safari Rally, since it's coming back and making a comeback in the Kenyan scene after 19 years of missing in action, I just want us to give you a history of this, the Safari Rally, where it began and how the journey has been, the progression, and all the way until up to this particular stage. A lot of development has happened, a lot of new name gracing the stage, some claiming the dominance, others being thrown, and that has been the beauty of the Safari Rally. But let's take a look at this particular story that give us a brief journey of Safari Rally.
The Safari Rally is a race held in East Africa. It was first held from May 27 to the 1st of June 1953 as the East African Coronation Safari in Kenya, Uganda and Tanganyika as to mark the accession of Queen Elizabeth II to the British throne. In 1960, it was renamed the East Africa Safari Rally and kept the name until 1974 when it became the Safari Rally. It was one of the most prestigious and celebrated rallies of its time, as well as one of the toughest.
Strongly in the hunt.
The Safari Rally was notorious for being by far the most difficult rally in the WRC Championship to win. Some had said that winning this particular rally was equivalent of winning 3 other rallies. The audacious conditions such as the constantly changing weather and the very rough roads often rife with sharp rocks made life very difficult for the team personnel. Repairs were constantly having to be made to the cars, which added to the elapsed time of the competitors. Frequently, all this work had to be done in intense heat and humidity. The event adopted the special stage format in 1996. From the edition until 2002, it featured over 1,000 kilometers of timed stages, with stages well over 60 kilometers long, unlike most rallies which had under 500 kilometers of total time distance. This meant that the winner's total time was above 12 hours in 1996 and decreased to 2 seconds shy of 8 hours in 2002.
All right, congratulations to all the winners.
The event was part of the World Rally Championship calendar for many years until being excluded after 2002 due to lack of finance and organization in 2003. The Kenyan government is trying to get the rally back to the WRC status. Since 2003, the event has been part of the African Rally Championship organized by the FIA. It is currently known as the KCB Safari Rally after its sponsor, Kenya Commercial Bank.
Today, as we continue a journey that we started in 2013 to return the most iconic of motoring events, the Safari Rally, to the International Automobile Federation World Rally Championship Series. This is culminating today as we proudly host this World Rally Championship candidate event.
In 2019, Kenya met the FIA standards and was eligible to hold an event that will determine if the 2020 Safari Rally will be incorporated to the World Rally calendar. This came by after the Ministry of Sports Group PS Peter Kaberia traveled to France in 2018 and held talks with the FIA President Jean Dot. In early July, President Uhuru Kenyatta flagged off the event at Kasarani as both local and international drivers participated in the 3-day event that saw Baldev Chaga win the 2019 edition.
Indeed, many generations of Kenyans have been raised against the backdrop of impressive rally races, crisscrossing our nation and region, and many Kenyans looking up to motoring legends who distinguish themselves due to their skill, daring, and jaw-dropping feats.
In Kenya, it is really a great opportunity. We look at this with a lot of enthusiasm. We've lost this since 2002. Since then, we've wanted to have it back, and this is our last test to see if next year we will have it. If we get it back next year, it will be a great relief to all of us, and all those who grew up with Safari Rally will be really, really excited.
But I have to admit, this must be the most difficult event I've done in my life, the most challenging and definitely the most rewarding. And to win with all this, it couldn't be better. Thank you.
Since its inception, the Safari Rally created a national heroes such as the late Jonathan Moi, Patrick Njiru, Ian Duncan and Phineas Kimathi, who is now the CEO of Safari Rally in Kenya.
Indeed, today is a great day for me and for this country, and not just this country, but for Africa as a continent. We are proud to have hosted the first candidate event in the last 18 years. This could not have been possible without the help of the government of Kenya and our sponsors, Kenya Commercial Bank, who've partnered with us for the last 18 years tirelessly.
Local driver Shakta Mehta is the most successful in the event with 5 outright victories in 1973, 1979 and 1982. The Safari Rally has proved that indigenous Kenyan drivers can compete with world-class rally drivers and make history. Samson Jura, KUTV.
Right, now you have the context and a little bit of a background history of this, the WRC. And of course now the last edition, that is the 2024 WRC edition, here still in Kenya. And of course remember the Vasha experience. Okay, nitawapigia story ya Vasha experience baadaye kidogo, but let me put you up to, you know, the latest standings as far as who is who. And in this order of list, then we have the first one, that is the 2023 champion and still the 2024 champion, that is Rovanpera Kale. He won in this registering, he was in Toyota Aris, that is Rally 1, the position 1. Then number 2 was Katsuta Takamoto, still from Toyota. And of course, then we had Formax Andren. This is from Ford Puma. That is on the 3rd position. Then we had Evans Ifin, still Toyota. So this time, Toyota has actually dominated this scene. And of course, because we can see the first 2 positions are held by Toyota companies. Then the 3rd one is Ford Puma. Then the 4th one still Toyota. Then Thier Naville at Hyundai, closest at position 5th. Then we have different categories. Then we have the main category. Then we have the WRC category 2, where we had the likes of Carl Flash Tundu, then Karan Patel. These are Kenyan legend and of course rally drivers. And of course Carl Flash Tundu was ranked at 7, and of course Karan Patel was at 9th. So these are Kenyan rally drivers, and that particular group was won by Greensmith at Skonda Fabia. That is the model of his vehicle. Then the only Kenyan. Then we have another category, that is the rally category 3. That was only a Kenyan, that is his name is this particular one, the son to former legend of this rally driver. That is, I'm talking about Amza Anwar. He won the rally WRC 3 category with Ford Fiesta Rally, and that is the latest standings as far as this edition of the WRC is concerned. So there has been some thrilling encounter there at Vasha, and of course we even saw a passionate appeal from the head of state, just calling for the WRC organizers to actually extend it to a 5-day some sort of event to give more Kenyans a chance to witness this, the magic that comes with the motorsport. And of course there is a big disclaimer: don't try this with your Probox, maybe your modern version of Toyota, because the safety standards of the motorsports this rally industry that are designed are meant to actually take care of the rally drivers' safety first, and they're really modern and version. Remember, this is why we can see a lot of cars rolling, but still they end up surviving, because a lot of people were asking, so hawa watu wenye wana roll wakiwa ndani wana survive kweli? Of course they do survive, and their vehicles are meant with in a way that they can be protected in case of this, the high speed, the crashing, and in case of accidents that might happen in the eventuality that the motorsports gets intensive, and of course these rounds of activities get even higher, and some even lose control in the event. They end up being safe. So that is what is happening. Remember, in the entries, we had so many rally drivers who had actually, reported or rather registered for this, but some, in one way or the other, end up not finishing the race because others get, injuries, others retired because of, their cars rolling out of this. Others get bad, injuries as a result, so they have to, exit the tournament prematurely. That is what is happening. So we had some retirement in the case of this, especially in the WRC category 2. We had the likes of Nasir Yassin, all, they rolled out and they were forced to retire. Then we have the likes of Nikhil Sachania. This is another rally driver who got an accident, and they had to actually forfeit this particular the edition of the WRC, the 2024. So that is the current standings of the rally drivers, and of course in regard to what happened in that. And remember, the president was very issued out a rallying cry to the rally drivers, particularly because of two things. First, it's a good venture for the country in terms of tourist attraction, encouraging local rally drivers to venture into this WRC rally to actually fancy their way in and, return Kenya to its former glory. But the most importantly, to at least give Kenyans an opportunity and a chance to actually witness this, the motorsport industry, the exile and of course the excitement that comes with this WRC motorsport event every time it graces Kenya. And of course the competition gets a little bit excited because so many aspects are put into consideration. That those who goes for this WRC just to have fun, some go to actually get experience of how it feels. Some go for drive test, some actually go for as a way of motorsport and actually trying to put themselves in somewhere just to compare between the experience and the upcoming rally drivers to fancy their chances in this WRC. And it's a good adventure either way for every category. Either it's for fun, either it's for sporting activities, be it for enjoyment. And of that why the president actually called for this the extension and of course a sort of arrangement to make sure that it actually extend to a longer period so that Kenyans can get the real excitement of the WRC. So that is what in regard to this WRC, what happened when the curtain came down officially on Sunday. And of course let's take a look at what the president said.
This iconic showpiece has quickly risen to its full potential as a present and future global allied sporting event. In particular, the return of the Safari Rally to Kenya in 2019, after nearly 2 decades, reminds us of a special Easter message of the possibility of radical revival for our fortunes, the spectacular return of Kenya to the global motorsport stage, and the gift of the opportunity to showcase to the world the unique scenic beauty and touristic diversity of Kenya.
We are absolutely happy, glad to have Kenya as one of only 13 rounds of the World Rally Championship Series, and indeed the only one on the African continent.
Right, the clerical call and the message is pretty clear. And of course, we just hope that maybe next time, the 2025 edition, we'll see a prolonged season of WRC just to give fans a real experience of the WRC. and of course just to extend this and bring the excitement that comes with this WRC, the Vasha experience. Anyway, so let's cross over now to the Kenya Cup. Remember that particular match is just in about 3 minutes, and then we'll be witnessing the kickoff to this. Remember, it's the title between, it's the final between Cabras Sugar and KCB. This is quite, a very interesting cup between these two particular teams. Remember, it's the final. The kickoff, it's at exactly 3 p.m. And of course, remember earlier on, I told you about the head-to-head statistics between these two teams. They have met in the last 11 outings. KCB has won 7 times, then Cabra Sugar 5 times. But in the finals, they have met 6 times. This will be their 7th. And of course, out of this, KCB has won 5, then Cabras once, and this they won in the last edition when the two teams met in the finals of the 2022-2023 Kenya Cup final season that was held between these two teams at the same venue. Today, it is a repeat of last season. Two teams with different quest and ambition, some with very different statistics, some with very fancy and decorated style of play rather, and one that will want to actually continue to extend their dominance. So remember, today this one will be the 7th outings, 5 win against 1. So the big question, who will clinch the 2024-2025 or rather the 2023-2024 edition of the Kenya Cup final between the two teams, that is Cabra Sugar and KCB. So this one, whoever wins this, it will be, if it's Cabra Sugar, it will be 2 out of 7 outings. If it's KCB, it will be 6 out of 7. A very impressive records and statistics. Remember, that match will kick off at exactly 3 p.m. just 1 minute to the kickoff, and of course I will be bringing you up to speed with what is happening. Later on, we'll take you through some of the inclusion and the drop and players that have been included, some that have been dropped in this the Kenya Cup fixtures, the finals between Cabra Sugar and of course KCB, and it's a discussion, or rather it's a match that we are following and we are tracking it closely, and of course we'll be bringing you the update and who fancy what, who has claimed the title, and of course many intrigue as far as this particular, the final between KCB and Cabra Sugar is concerned. So it's not a light one. It is quite a very intensive atmosphere, if you ask me, between two of the experienced coaches, Curtis Olago, the KCB tactician. Then we have Katiwa, that is the Cabra Sugar tactician. Katiwa has had some very interesting, outings with Cabra Sugar. They have won a couple of matches. They went on. It will be remembered that prior to this final, Cabras is unbeaten since the beginning of the 2023-2024 season. Should they clinch this title, then they'll be writing history as a team that has won the title unbeaten. That will be very impressive history, a record to leave behind for generation to actually follow the suit and actually talk about it for many ages, should this particular result and impressive record and statistic be kept. And time will tell. It's just a couple of time before we know who is who. Tujue mbichi na mbivu kati ya hizi timu mbili. And of course the kickoff is already, that match has already kicked off. Remember, it is 2 minutes to the kickoff of that particular match, and of course we'll bring you up to speed with what is happening, what to expect, and many people are following and they want to know who will claim the bragging right, who will reign supreme in the 2023-2024 finals of the Kenya Cup. In this particular note, I want us to, we'll be taking a very short break before now we come back and take a look at, the latest development that is happening. Remember, we still have the World Athletics Relays trial at Nyayo Stadium. We have the Football Kenya Federation Premier League fixtures. Remember, there is a couple of those fixtures have already started. Remember, the kickoff was at 3 p.m. There's big teams that will be out to claim, dominance. We have the likes of Gor Mahia will be up against Kakamega Homeboys, and it's something that we'll try to follow and even take a look at the FKF Premier League table, the way things are shaping out. So who has what it takes to actually clinch this particular title? Remember, this title has had its own fair share of roller coaster ride. At one moment it was Posta Rangers, then we had Gor Mahia now overturning the table. Ever since they did that, they have really maintained the momentum. So will they continue with that, the momentum, until the very end of the 2023-2024 season? That is a discussion and a conversation that we'll be having after the break.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audiovisual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
They are powerful and influential. They make decisions in politics, education, finance, agriculture, health, sports, and all aspects of human life. But the impact of their decisions falls on you, the common citizen. KUTV Primetime News Thursday. We ask bold questions and pursue answers to the core to bring you closer to the story. We couldn't have it any other way. Join me, Auma Evans, as I raise matters of social concern to raise your voice from the background to the foreground. Every Thursday and Saturday at 9 p.m. only on KUTV.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
From the hospital corridors, we bring you experts to discuss issues affecting your health, from diet to mental health. The familiar and the ignored are both put into perspective. We then dive into the environment and look at the effects of climate change and its solutions. Join me, Mutegi K. Martin, every Friday at 9 p.m. as we learn on how to better our health while taking care of our environment. Only on KUTV.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepo pasi vuguvugu, pepo pani idea.
Tazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili. Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili. Hiyo inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni duniani leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Is your first time?
Yeah, I'm kind of scared, but I can do this.
Yeah.
Mess with me. Yeah, let's do this, man.
Technology, science, innovation, ICT and research. These are the ingredients upon which the solutions to the 21st century problems are founded. In a world that is rapidly changing, it's all hands on deck to ensure a balance in all fields of life. Women, young and old, are also in the front line, breaking the glass ceiling, becoming thought leaders in the larger tech space. Not forgetting other societies marginalized. And when the tech Avengers come together, we inch closer to a much safer, efficient, and sustainable world. What we view as a norm in today's advanced world was just an idea, and for nostalgic reasons, we trace back to the iconic days to bring you the retro tech. On Tech Innovation Show, we encapsulate all the pillars of the fourth industrial revolution, decoded in a language, all for one for all. Every Monday at 8:30 as we push the mantra, keep learning something new each and every day. Only on KUTV, a new experience.
What are some of the ways through which you can develop these skills so that you are comfortably fitting into the job?
You have to put yourself in positions where you are uncomfortable. Uncomfortable in the sense that you are not clear about what to do.
Because I used to work a corporate job before. So when I left, I happened to visit someone's farm around this area.
So this project is called Security Breach Detector and Can Familiarize. It is meant to be used to detect, detonate explosives.
We'll tackle all the tough issues, discuss all the weird moments, and hopefully share a few laughs along the way.
All right, welcome back, and this is the segment where we take you through sports activities. And remember, I promise you that we'll bring you up to date with what is happening at Kakamega Showground, and of course the clash between KCB and of course Cabra Sugar is currently underway, and right now Cabra's lead a try, courtesy of this try that was scored by Cabra Sugar. Remember, right now the scores as things stand: KCB 7, Cabra 7, KCB 0. So that is what is happening. The title race is taking shape pretty quick, and things are really, really getting, very intense there at Kakamega. I could hear some, noise. Sam even is asking me here, Sam, that basically for Sam here and ender for Lions. So what about me? For me, I think I'll support you, Sam. So that is what is happening there. And of course, remember, we'll still keep you updated with what is happening. Remember, it's a very, very big match in the finals. That is the finals of the Kenya Cup. The curtain comes down today. That is the 2023-2024 season. Whoever wins this, that is a big question. Of course, we don't know who will carry this title at the end of the day. As things stands right now, Cabras leads with 7 against KCB, and we're still asking, what's your take, or rather what's your prediction of Kenya Cup final? Remember, the finals between Cabras Sugar and KCB, and that match is currently underway. Who will carry the day? Keep talking to us on all of our social media platform. You can tweet me on my X at Auma Events, and of course remember to use the hashtag on the spot. Of course, now let's switch gears to a very disturbing latest unfolding and development. The reason why I'm saying very disturbing, it's just simple. Recently ndo tunajaribu kidogo kupona. Hatujapona vile sana, lakini kidogo tu ndo tunatry kuheal from a very painful experience yenye tuli had with FIFA. And in line of this, remember the High Court uphold its decision to suspend FKF AGM that was due to happen on 16th of March. In line to that, reason were pretty simple. So sports journalist Milton Nyakundi moved to Mombasa High Court to halt the process. In the same, this drew the attention of FIFA, the World Football ruling body, and of course issued a letter. Actually, it was just a warning letter to FKF CEO, that is Barry Otieno, informing him of the dire consequences should this trend continue. In spite of this warning by FIFA, the High Court still went on and of course reaffirmed its initial decision to suspend the AGM, insisting that Nyakundi has a case, and of course there is something off with this particular AGM. So FIFA wants the Football Kenya Federation to hold its annual AGM, and of course to set a date for FKF election. Failure to that, the country risk another ban. Are we ready for a ban right now? This is a time that we are still, healing from this very shaky ban that was imposed on us by the football governing body, that is FIFA. And of course, we are just still fresh. We have, the 2027 AFCON that we are really targeting to host. And of course, with this, where does it put our football in the global arena? Where are we? Is it a conversation that we should be having right now? And what should happen? Because FIFA is not joking, they're very serious. And the entire thing puts the football fraternity, or the football stakeholders, the football activities, the dream of young aspiring footballers to don the national jersey at a limbo state. So it's something that is really causing a lot of mixed reaction from football stakeholders. There are some that want the entire process to be stopped. Some read malice in this particular, the court suspension and the push and pull between the federation and some of the football stakeholders. And some attribute this to the reason of what we are seeing so many, a lot of activities going on in FKF camp, some that have led to this particular suspension, and FIFA is watching. And our football activities right now, it's a very, 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 very bad state, and we're actually living on notice. We have been warned, until we do something about it, then maybe we might be suspended or banned again. And it's a very hot topic, if you ask me, for those who follow football keenly. This is a time that we need all the tools at our disposal, the support that we need for us to actually, raise from the last horror and the ghost of suspension. We have the World Cup qualifiers in just around the corner. That is in June. We have, a global, or rather a continental tournament to actually plan for. That is, I'm talking about the Africa Cup of Nations, the 2027. Despite the African Cup of Nations, we still have the same African Cup of Nations qualifiers that we really need to take part and qualify to actually fancy our chances of, at least showcasing what we have and improve our performance and keep on, pressing on and having this the discussion about the transition of football activities in the country, to put ourselves at a very advantageous position to emulate Cote d'Ivoire performance. This can only happen if we clean our house and we put our house in order. But with this latest warning from FIFA, it posed quite a big doubt about what the state of football affairs in the country could actually be staring at in the near future should this particular process continue. And of course, if the suspended AGM is halted for a while, then we might find ourselves in a very familiar situation that we find ourselves 2 years ago at a time that we are trying to heal. So that is something that is really hot, and I know it's really concern a lot of people, if you ask me. Any key football stakeholder should be concerned about this. So what is the way forward? Still, that is a big question that you're asking. And in regard to this, the football activities in the country, so I want us to switch gears now to the Football Kenya Federation Premier League, and a couple of fixtures that are lined up for today, the Saturday, and of course the Sunday. And we have big matches lined up. Remember, we have the defending champions, the early kickoff between Tusker, and we had an early kickoff between Kariobangi Sharks and Tusker FC. That was a big match between those two teams. Then later on, we have, it is actually 20 minutes past the kickoff, the game between Ulinzi Stars and Bandari Shabana, the struggling Shabana FC, who are taking on Postal Rangers. Then we have Mohoroni Youth against Nairobi City Stars, and Gor Mahia vs Kakamega Homeboys. So that is on Saturday today. Then on Sunday, we still have a couple of fixtures lined up for Sunday. Remember, Bidco will be up against KCB. Then we have Ulinzi Stars will be up against Sofapaka. Then we have Moranga Sales will entertain Zoya Sugar. Then another very interesting match to actually take a look at is the Talanta vs Police FC. Remember that was a very big match, if you ask me, between these two teams. One will be wanting to maintain their trajectory and put themselves at a very advantageous position. Remember, even when you take a look at the current standings, Gor Mahia still leads the pack with 50 points, followed closely by Tusker with 43 points. So 7 points separate the first and the second. Bandari at third with still 43 points. Kenya Police at fourth position with 39 points. Then we have Postal Rangers there. So the top two, or rather the top three races are quite interesting. When you look at the league leaders, that is Gor, and of course the second place, that is Tusker FC. Remember, I think it was a while back when the gap was a little bit wider. It was 10 points also. Today we are talking about 7 points. Should they slip, then we have a team like Tusker who will be keeping the race very tighter and closing the gap on Gor. So today's game, the Gor Mahia vs Kakamega Homeboys, it is a must-win match for Gor if they want to rekindle their hopes of actually lifting this title, the 2023-2024 title. And should they make any slip to this, then might now change the conversation about the title race. Remember, another team that is keeping them neck to neck is Bandari FC. They share points with Tusker FC, but they're separated with goal difference, and this is a big match, remember. So 7 against 50, and of course we have like a couple of few matches before we can wind this the 2023 season and bid it formally a bye-bye. Remember last season, the last match, Gor were beaten by Bandari. Bandari beat Gor at Mbaraki Stadium 1-0. And of course, today they still face another a very tricky opponent that has really proved to be a pain, or rather a thorn in flesh of Gor. Remember this, the fixture between Kakamega Homeboys and of course Gor Mahia has not been that very rosy for Gor. In some cases beaten, some a draw, and today they must actually rise up to the occasion, because everything all is at stake for Gor, if you ask me, because the gap is pretty slim and anything can happen. This is a game of football. So let me take you to the rest of fixtures and of course what to expect before. And now we can cross over to the English Premier League and keep you up to analysis and the update of what to expect. And remember the match between the Postal Rangers who are fifth in the log. So the Postal Rangers, the beginning of the season, they actually posted some sign of a team that was actually there to challenge for title. And we talked about their playing style, the system that was really working for this team, until something happened somewhere. They slipped, and now the discussion now shifted now to Gor, who really maintained the momentum. They keep on pressing all the way, opening the gap until the very last. And there is still another team that is very interesting to actually talk about it. I'm talking about Tusker FC. Remember, the beginning of the season, they were somewhere fighting for relegation. So slowly by slowly, they rose to the occasion. This is the normal KCB. The start of the season, they are very shaky, they fumble a lot, but the ending is what really matters for this team. They keep up the momentum, they push it to the wire. That last season, they really kept Gor on toes, and it was actually, the game was decided at the very, very last minute. Remember the point that separated the first and second, it was only 3 points, and the last match was what determined who really, lifted the title. So it was a battle to the wire. So will this one be a battle to the wire, because we have just a few matches to go? Then that is a big question that we'll take a look at, and of course as even things take a dramatic twist and turn, because any slip, then the title could be open for any team to grab, be it Tusker, KCB, or Kenya Police. Anyway, so that is what is currently happening in the Kenya Premier League, and of course the matches. So I want to take you through analysis pretty quick, the fixtures, then I'll give you an update of what is happening. So remember, we have the early kickoff was between the Kariobangi Sharks versus Tusker FC. Then we had Ulinzi Stars, Ulinzi versus Bandari. Then we have Shabana versus Postal Rangers there. Another one is Mohoroni Youths will be entertaining Nairobi City Stars, another very good team. If you ask me, this Nairobi City Stars is a team that has what it takes to actually challenge for the title. Another one is in this regard to fixtures, then we have Gor vs Kakamega Homeboys, and the Gor vs Kakamega Homeboys, the clash will be at 4 p.m. East African time. We are just talking about a couple of minutes, so a quick update. So Kariobangi Sharks actually won against Tusker 3-2. Wow. It's a very dramatic turn of event, if you ask me. I'm telling you, this one is not a game for anyone to predict. You can say like, oh, so because of poor or rather drop in form, Tusker are the eventual, winners of this. Maybe the odds are in their favors. No, you really have to actually struggle for this to get those 3 points. Then Muhoroni Youths vs Nairobi City Stars. That match is currently underway. 25 minutes past the time, and the scores are stalemate, 0-0. Shabana vs Postal Rangers. Shabana leads 1-0 versus Postal Rangers. So remember, this Shabana FC team is a team that they were the champions of the National Super League last season. They came and they really struggle, fumble, and their fairy tale, they are fancy, and of course their very supportive fan base is still there, but the team is not living up to the expectation, the hype that we used to see in the National Super League is no longer there. What happened? That is a big question. Remember, this is a team that actually parted ways with their coach. The one that was responsible was handed the task to actually, make sure the team earned promotion to the Kenya Premier League. They parted ways after the chemistry, the tactics, and all means necessary that the coach had to use to make sure that the team actually, they don't sink but stay afloat in the Kenya Premier League. Fumble. So Shabana leads 1-0. That goal was scored by Lord Kevin at 21 minutes. And of course, should they continue with this, then maybe it will be a fight for dear life to see if they will escape this relegation battle. Then Ulinzi vs Bandari, still stalemate 0-0 at 29 minutes. Then up next is Gor vs Kakamega Homeboys. That match will kick off at exactly 4 p.m. Now, so that is in regard to the Kenya Premier League, and I want us now to switch over and cross to the English Premier League, where I still have a couple of fixtures lined up for today. And of course, so remember last in the midweek we had some big performance, and of course it was now this is football, so let me not talk as a fan, ndo as a Chelsea fan ndo waanze unajua last season au last weekend ulikuwa umetulia nini saa hii uko na nguvu. Acha niwaambie hiyo ilikuwa ni thara beating. Who is talking now? The streets are kind. I remember last weekend Pinchez was like, wachana na hii game ya Man City na Arsenal. Hii sasa hii ya Chelsea na Man U, hii ndo sasa kusema. By the way, ilikuwa kusema juu sisi ndo tuliwanyang'anya hopes ya kucheza champe. So tukawakanyaga, wakajua like this is soccer bana, watu watulie. Sometimes unajua unaweza enda pale wanasemanga kutangulia kwa klabu ushike bia zako 2-3 hivi si haimaanishi ndo kulewa. Tuliza boli, tuliouone. Wakapiga sherehe in the 98th minutes to overturn the table, and that is what happened. And in that regard, so first of all, kuna mafans wenye wako heartbroken. No wonder we don't have some here. And in line to that, nataka nikupeleke somewhere, and this one really hurt the most. And this guy was like, wow, this is Manchester imempatia heart attack, heart failure, and everything. Let's take a look at this reaction.
even start with, I beg, I don't want to wear this just to do this interview, I beg. I'm not going to wear and do this interview. I'm very sorry, but I can't wear it. You get people when they wear this badge, when they pay salary, they pay much bonus, but they are not proud of this jersey. Every week, I lose financially and psychologically because I'm a Man U fan. An employee on the payroll is not proud of wearing this jersey, a legendary cloth, a jersey people wish to wear. Every footballer in England wants to play in Man U. That you have a so-called professional manager that lacks game management. Simple techniques, simple things, the basics people do for fun. Use substitution to kill the game. You can't do it. So how do you explain that every day Man U play game, we find it so easy to drop our mentality, our momentum drop. 97 minutes, Man U 3, Chelsea 2. A toothless bulldog that can bite a crying baby, bite Manchester United.
The last part is for me. The toothless dog that can't bite, bites Manchester United. So who is the toothless dog? Is it Chelsea or Manchester United? But I feel the fun, by the way. I feel him. And financially, I don't know, emotionally, psychologically, every week, and I lose. Man U. Si hata mpatia redemption bana your fans. Anyway, so that is the fun. Hiyo ni kaudi ya fun. Sasa coach pia yeye alikuwa na yake. Hebu tumsikize.
We started poor the game, giving the ball away, defending poorly on the first two occasions, but on that moment already you saw we were dominating the game, and we returned in the game. It was brilliant how we played, and we deserved to win this game, but you can't give it away like we did. We have, as a team, we have in that last minutes of the game, we have to manage this game better. Of course, there's always, but it's a team performance, and of course you can point to one of the players, but it's not about that. It's about team performance. As I said, as a team in such moments when it gets chaotic, you have to deal with such circumstances as a team, and we didn't. We make wrong decisions. We didn't help each other in possession as well, keeping the ball. Go from one side to the other side, or at least pass and move, and out of possession, we make bad decisions.
Life ni tough. The football inaweza kupatia nightmare, theater of dreams. Sometimes inaweza kuwa theater of nightmares sometimes. So that's what happened, and of course that is results midweek, and we really personally, I feel for Manchester United fan. It's not because walipoteza, but it's because you had it until the very last minute, then ukaiachilia iende. Who does that? Only Manchester United does that. Anyway, so in the midweek, we still had a couple of fixtures. Remember, Manchester City were playing against Aston Villa, and they won 4-1 against Aston Villa. Same case to Liverpool, 3-1 against Brighton Albion. Arsenal, pia wao walibahatika na kakitu. And that is as far as the title race is concerned, because this is a three-horse race, if you ask me. The gap between the first, the second, and third is quite slim. 3 points, 2 points, of course, separate the first top three teams. Liverpool leads the pack with separation of 3 points, followed by Arsenal closely, then Manchester City at a distance, third. But remember, anything can happen in today's game. Manchester City can lose, either Arsenal can lose, or maybe Liverpool could drop the points. Either way, the matrix changes, the table turns. The third could be the first, the second could be the third, and maybe the first could be the third or second. that is what is happening in the English Premier League. And this is actually a battle to the neck and to the wire. And it's very interesting. This time, English Premier League, if you ask me, very interesting. 3 hosts, each eyeing the same prize, the title. The defending champions are at a distance third, chasing the trophy, fighting to defend the trophy. And then the team that sat 5th last season is top of the table. The team that finished second is still second at the table, but still fighting to actually see if they can turn second to first. And that is the big discussion. Remember, they still have a couple of teams to contend with. They have the mighty Chelsea to face. They still have the likes of teams like Tottenham there to face. So it's still quite of an uphill task for Arsenal. Among the top 3 teams that are eyeing this title, Arsenal is the team that will have to actually prove so many doubters wrong. So what is going to be for Arsenal? We'll wait and see what will happen. In today's fixtures, remember we have now it's second half, the early kickoff between Crystal Palace and Manchester City. It is 1-1. Kevin De Bruyne scored for, is the goal scorer for Manchester City. Then we have Matete, who scored for Crystal Palace. So I'm told the update is 2-1 in favor of who? Let me find out. Manchester City have added the second goal. And of course, now that changes the entire equation. Now, so today's Saturday's fixture, Crystal Palace versus Manchester City. Remember, the match is currently underway, and it's 2-1 in favor of Manchester City. Later on, we'll have Aston Villa against another very interesting team in the English Premier League here, and we'll see what will unfold. Now we have Aston Villa will be up against Brentford. Brentford has been a torment of big teams, so will they be able to challenge Aston Villa? Then we'll see how the events will unfold. Then we have Everton will be up against struggling Burnley. Then we have Fulham against Newcastle United. Newcastle actually surprised many. Remember, they come back from a 3-1 to overturn the table to make it 4-3 against Newcastle United in the last weekend's fixture. So this is a team that last season actually had, the zeal, the energy to push to the wire. But this season, with a lot of injuries hitting the team, they've really struggled a bit. And today they have yet another chance to actually redeem themselves. And we'll see what will unfold when they take on their rival in the next, EPL fixtures that will be happening right now. And of course, that match will kick off at exactly 6 p.m. that is East African time. Then we have another very interesting match to watch, that is West Ham versus Wolves. That is another very interesting encounter to follow between in the English Premier League. Then another one, we have Fulham against Newcastle, that one we have seen. Then we have Luton will be up against Bournemouth. Then Brighton will entertain Arsenal. So the Brighton-Arsenal game is a must-win game for Arsenal if they want to rekindle their title hope and, of course, put themselves in a space to challenge for this title. Because as things stand, if Manchester City maintain this win, then they'll be jumping all the way to second position, and that means that Arsenal drops at least before the kickoff to this the clash between Brighton and Arsenal. And that is how the things are turning, and the table is really shaping. And of course, remember, this is a big match between these two. Not a big match actually, but a must-win match for Arsenal. And this Brighton, in most cases, has proven to be a team to beat. That is between the titles, or rather the fixtures between Arsenal and of course Brighton. So they have to overcome their enemy in order for them to move closer to title race and actually cement their place in this the whole conversation and the discussion of the title race. So on Sunday we have a big match, the Battle of the Titan. I'm talking about Manchester United versus Liverpool clash at Old Trafford. To be honest with you, when you go to analyze, tuachane sasa na loyalties and allegiance. If you analyze the title between the clash between Liverpool and Manchester United, it has been who has the advantage over what. But if you look at the previous, let's say, 5 outings, it is the number of goals that really worries me. There is a time that a team shipped 7, 6, 5, 3-1. But at Old Trafford, Liverpool have had its fair outing. At the moment they have gone there and big win with a lot of goals. The moment they have gone there and they have been shamed and humiliated. So this time round, the venue is Theatre of Dreams. This is a clash between two teams. One is eyeing the title, the other one is eyeing to actually bounce back from defeat and actually redeem itself from midweek shame and uttermost heartfelt, and of course for lack of better word I will say just to cleanse the souls and usher in a sigh of fresh air to this disappointing midweek performance. So it's a clash of the Titan, a tough battle and a very tricky fixtures between these two teams. And of course it's not an easy fixture for either of the teams, because by all fairness, these teams has what it takes to actually clinch not the title, but actually clinch this particular game and walk away with 3 points. So football is a game of margin. Whoever makes fewer mistakes and the opponent capitalize on those mistakes is the one that carry the day. However, in most time, a team that has good form, good mechanism, chemistry, and let me borrow the word of one fan, very disappointed fan, a coach that can use subs and simple tactics very well is the one that carries the day. So that is the clash between Manchester United and Liverpool that will be played tomorrow. And of course, I will be very eager to see how things will turn out, if United will offer a response or Liverpool will fumble in their title quest, or they will continue with good performance and trajectory. Remember, they're 5 games unbeaten and the record continues. So on Sunday still we have Chelsea will be up against Sheffield United. Now, this Chelsea is a team that performs well when they meet the big 6. But their performance under relatively smaller teams, quote unquote, is quite concerning. Most of the time they don't perform pretty well, and they have to really fight for these very simple 3 points. But they so I'm confronted with a very big question to answer. Why? Let me talk like a fan. I think the reason why Chelsea this season they're not performing is because of simple reason. The coach is not using simple tactics. Analyze the game, see what is working and what is not working. Avoid same mistakes over and over again. Find your first 11 and avoid rotation. Rotation can only happen in case, first, you have fatigue. In this case, Chelsea doesn't have. It can happen if you have a lot of injuries. Yes, we have injuries, but that is not an excuse because we have players who have, shown that they have all what it takes to actually compete for this. So first of all, Chelsea is a team that you can't really place your hopes on. They say your baskets, you can't place your basket on. So on this one, at least place our hopes on Chelsea for quite a long, because this is a team that itakupeleka hopes very high, like midweek. Mimi kama fan wa Chelsea bado niko hapa, emotion iko tu hapa, na feel tu vizuri, na feel fiti, lakini kesho inaweza nifanya ile kitu inaweza nisumbua psychologically, emotionally. So for me I'm blaming the coach, not the players, because the coach ndiye anapanga squad. Anajua like kama Jackson ana misfire, anafaa bench, ulete mtu mwenye anaweza convert hizo chances. Forget, ukipata like mtu kama tuseme Caicedo, kazi yake tu ni a read game, ni silly mistakes, next game akule bench, patia mtu mwingine chance. Like as a coach ufai ku entertain mtu. Uko pale kuwin. First of all, unataka keep your job, keep my fans happy, because yeye mwenyewe ana admit ame lose touch with fans. So it's about time aanze ku rebuild that moment. It might never be too late. And I want to give Chelsea hopes hope. Chelsea fans hope. Yes, tuko na what? 43 points if I'm not wrong. 43. Number 6 akona 48. Hizo ni games ngapi? Game moja na game mbili, wacha tuseme game mbili. So it's possible to overthrow Man U. Let's hope waende pale wacheze na Liverpool, wakanyagwe. Chelsea cheze na Sheffield, wafanye ile kitu, wapande. So itakuwa from 43 to 46. Hiyo gap ina reduced to 2. Well, the next game, you never know, miracle inaweza happen. The point ni we can still dream of European success somewhere. Kama nika Europa mahali, juu Champions League yo discussion tushafunga, lakini discussion ya Europa League mimi nataka ku dream again. I still believe like we can make it, we can do it, if only to compete. Tukikosa Europa, at least tuende Conference League na at least tubebe hii kitu. So that is what I'm foreseeing. So for Chelsea fans, msikufe moyo, mkue ngangari, keep on believing, trust the process. You can see what is happening, and better things are coming. Anyway, so that is the clash between Chelsea and Sheffield United. So we have another one, Liverpool. Tottenham Hotspurs will be up against Nottingham Forest. Well, Tottenham is another team that the beginning of the season walikuwa somewhere. The chemistry between Son and of course Maddison was quite impressive. This is a team that used to score goals for fun. What happened along the way siwezi kukwambia. However, hii ni team wenye pia wao kwa hiyo the title credentials maybe tunaweza pretty much wa consider, but not that much. But for top 4 maybe wanaweza kuwa pretty in that one. And this time round we were like in that particular regard to that, I think wako somewhere close, but not really close, because for me, if I were to narrow down the top race, the title race this time round, with all fairness, title race goes to 3 teams. Liverpool, ambao wana lead with 70 points. They tie with Manchester City as of now, but separated by goal difference, because they lead 2-1 right now, 70 points each. Of course, Liverpool, Manchester City wamecheza, this is their 31st, the 31 match. Then Liverpool will take on Manchester United tomorrow. Hypothetically speaking, let's say Arsenal ipigwe na Liverpool pia ipoteze, still Liverpool wata lead because of goal difference. So that's how the title is turning up. Then Aston Villa at 4th,
with 59 points. Tottenham at 5th with 57, separated by 2 points. So while kucheza Champions League is very, very dreams still pretty much alive, it can happen because Aston Villa, it's a team that imekuwa kifumble for quite a while. Walikanyagwa 4-1 midweek. This time round wanataka correspond with something tangible. So will they bounce back from defeat? That is a big question that many people would want to know. Well, another team that maybe when is a koja tunacheza na Sheffield United, and this is a team that is fighting for survival. This is a tricky one. The final match, these teams that under the bottom 3 teams hapa ndio inakonga their moment of to shine. This is a team that inaweza amua like season mzima imepigwa, lakini hii ya mwisho wanakufa na wewe. So hii ni kali. Hii inaweza kuwa noma. Same case na Burnley. No wonder Burnley, despite the fact walikuwa 10 men, bado walimanage kupose a threat to Chelsea. Simple reason. This is a team that is fighting for survival. And any team when it come across Burnley, they better be careful. Same case goes to Sheffield United and Luton. Na tunacheza na Sheffield. Sijika nguro uko worried, lakini mimi naona inaweza kaa ngumu. But anyway, wacha to keep on believing. Because target hapa ni huyu Mani utundo tunataka tumtoe hapo. Europa lazima tucheze. Na it's possible. Because 43, number 10 43, number 9 43, number 7 45, number 6 48. It's possible. It can happen. So those are the weekend's fixtures, and of course what to expect here and there. And remember that this is the title of the Titan. Big fixture in the weekend, and that is happening. Big fixture in the weekend, and it's a big match. It's a big match if you ask me. And we'll still keep you up to date with what is happening. And sasa there is a match that is happening there at Kenya Cup Finals, and trying to find for update just to bring you up to speed with what is happening, who is who, and of course mimi nakakwambia mambo imechemuka pale Kakamega, nikubied. Mambo ni deadly sana. So Cabras still leads with 22, KCB 5, and tries from Walter Okoth, Tabeni Dukisa and Kevin Wekesa in Cabra's side are, and Vincent Onyala has the only try for KCB. So as things stands, again, things can, change, but maybe KCB, Cabras, when they defend this title, because the tides, the odd, and everything seems to work on their favor. Remember, they are Kakamega best side. The atmosphere there in our favor. The soil in our favor. The air condition in our favor. I'm trying just to speak on behalf of maybe a KCB fan when anaweza try and anaweza wonder, what is happening? Maybe it's because of the environment and the weather and every other thing that is happening there. Now, so that is what is happening in the Kenya Cup, and remember the Kenya Premier League action halftime, and of course we have a couple of games there, and of course remember, even as we wind this show, remember the conversation still continues on all of our social media platform. Question of the day: what's your prediction of Kenya Cup? We know the scores currently, but this is a conversation that we can still take on our social media platform. Let's keep on
converging about this. Let's keep the conversation going. Talk to us. Tell us what you feel. Which team do you think has an upper hand of actually lifting this trophy, regardless of what is happening? And I just want to read a few comments in regard. So I have Kevin Michael. This is a very staunch KCB fan. Says that in as much as the weather and everything in a favor Cabra Sugar, and I believe like the game of rugby inaendanga to the final wire. Well, Kevin, siwezi argue na wewe on that one. We really wish you all the best. Wewe, keep on believing, and let's keep the conversation even after the show. Well, for me, this is a wrap. Many thanks for men and women who made this production a success. Many thanks for you, our esteemed viewers, for always keeping us a company in the last 1 hour and 55 minutes or so. My name is Auma Evans, and of course this is On the Spot. Until next time, do have a lovely weekend and keep it locked. KUTV. See you next time.